All right, well, welcome to my attic. Pretty tight space in here, and I want to introduce you to my whole house fan from Airscape. And we installed this fan years ago, probably 17 years ago. It operates like this. When you turn it on, this is supposed to stay in the upright position, and the air is pulled into the attic from the house. And if you have your window open, it pulls in the cool air. I guess if it's in the fall when it's still warm outside and the temperatures are dropping, you can actually suck in the warm air, so you don't have to run your unit as much. But the actuator, the company said, fails regularly, I guess, since it's been so old. He said, I just have to buy a new actuator, and it's this piece right here. And so this cord goes down into the house where there is a switch on the wall, so we don't have to come into the attic to turn it on. But before we get started, the first thing you do is unplug it from the wall. So this is your control panel, and we're going to have to disconnect the actuator from the panel. And the way to do that is I'm going to use a 6.5 millimeter socket and just loosen these up just a little bit to take this cover off. And you don't have to take these out all the way, just enough so you can take it out of the slots. And inside, here's your actuator. The electrical comes through this conduit into the box, and it has these 3 wires that have to come off. And I already took a picture of it just to make sure I wouldn't get confused how they go back in. So you just unplug these. Pretty easy. And then on the actuator itself, you have a U-bolt and some flange nuts right here. And you just use your wrench and take these off. I've actually already loosened them up a little bit just to make this easier. And then there's 2 of these nuts and bolts right here. There's one on the top and there's one underneath. Both of these need to come off. Make sure you don't drop your nuts in the insulation, like I'm pretty well known for doing. And when this is already loose, this whole box should just come right off like that. So that's pretty nice. And then this is the replacement they sent me. And it's always good to lay this side by side so you know exactly that the part you're getting is gonna go in. And it looks like it's made the right way, so that's good. Now that we've determined that the 2 actuators are the same and that they'll fit, I want to show you how I rewired the ends, because these ends didn't come attached. So let's take a look real quick and how I did that. All right, this actuator from Airscape actually came with this connection, but we need to attach these. This plug, I think the actuator can be used in a couple of units, but this is the actual connector that we need to use with our Airscape. So we're just going to cut these off. Then strip them down. And just slide it in. And I'm going to give it a crimp. And there you go. All right, now that you have the correct ends on, I want to show you with this actuator right here in the U-bolt. You can see the teeth on these, and that's what grabs this bar, and it rotates this way, and it lifts the top up, allowing the air to come up. However, I want to let you take a look at this right here. You have at the very top, right above this top grip, you have 3 little plates. 1, 2, and 3. And so when you put it on, just make sure that they're all flat, facing the right way, because sometimes they'll slip down and they'll be catty corner like this, and it's going to mess up something. When you tighten it back down, at some point it's going to slip, and then your machine's not going to work, right? Okay, so we're going to put these 3 ends through here first, and we're going to have to put 2 in, get them in, and then put this last one in because the hole's too small for all 3 to go through at the same time. Then you just drag it through like that. And then I'm going to stick my screwdriver through this just to make sure everything maintains its place until I get it in. There we go. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these 2 nuts and bolts back in. I'm going to start with this bottom one first, since I can't see it as well. The line, I got this one, goes through the top. Now, again, make sure you don't drop your nuts into insulation, because it's really itchy and you don't want insulation on your nuts. It's kind of hard to see, especially for me, what I'm doing, but I'm going to get it nice and tight. That way it doesn't come loose. Looks like my U-bolts all up, facing the right way. Those plates are not cattywampus. If you can see this, right here there's a set screw. And what that does is, in the down position, it came already in the down position setting on the actuator. But if for some reason when you operate it, it doesn't close all the way or doesn't open all the way, you can adjust these set screws in a way so it does close all the way. Okay, then you can use your socket set just to get it the rest of the way tight. And it definitely needs to be tight because you don't want this slipping, otherwise it's going to mess up. So that feels pretty tight right there. And that socket size is a 8mm. Last thing we have to do is plug these babies back in. All right, so I'm pretty sure it's these 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. And so white goes at the top. This color here, I don't know if it's brown or green or orange, but it goes in the middle. And then the black goes at the bottom. So it doesn't really matter what color the middle one is, because it's the last one. Make sure those are plugged in good all the way. See if I can get you a better view here. got your white. You got your white and your black at the bottom. And then this other color is in the middle, right there. Yes, I am color deficient, but you work with what you got. And then this wire here needs to be coiled up and put inside this control box. I should have went underneath this. So, golly, man. Let me pull these back out. Okay, I fixed that mistake. So the wires now are going underneath this wall outlet wire. And then you just coil it up. Put this back on. And then use your socket wrench or socket screwdriver and tighten all these up. All right, so we got it all hooked up. And Chris, go ahead and turn it on. We'll see if this does the trick. Yes. That is wonderful. So that little device just turns that rod, which opens this lid. And guess what? Now we can have a cool house. As it starts to get cooler, we can suck in the cool weather at night and then shutter windows, lock it in, and it'll stay cool and the air conditioner won't have to come on during the day. What a blessing. Well, hopefully this has helped you try and troubleshoot what's going on with your attic fan and airscape. Airscape is a good company and I'm really satisfied with their product. Take care. Have a good day.